Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Will the Jackson, Mississippi City Council get a seat at the table? Welcome to the 601 Network, Real Jackson News. No fluff, no distractions, just real news for real people. So you saw the question. Will the Jackson, Mississippi City Council get a seat at the table? That's a question that I ask you, but some of you probably don't know that at the table. What table are we talking about that they're getting? That will they get a seat at? You know, the table that I'm talking about is there's a 13 committee, being a 13 member committee that's being set up. They want to set up so when the Jackson Water Company leaves, Ted Hennepin leave, they're gonna want to devise a 13 member committee to come in and sit down and have control over this water here in the city of Jackson. And that's like what you're gonna have. What I understand, from what I understand, is let's say the Ridgeland mayor, Byram mayor, Jackson mayor. I think some of the board of supervisors, and I think some of the state local officials. They all going to have a seat, but I'm questioning: will the city council have a seat at this table? This table is what this table with these members is what's they're going to be the ones to make the decisions on water. And my question is that, well, will the city council get a seat at this table? So that's what my question is about at the beginning of this, because they oughta, because they oughta. They get the most phone calls from the residents. They're constantly engaging the residents, coming out to these meetings that the residents hold, like the community meetings. We just had a Jane Avenue community meeting on the 9th, which was Monday of February. Councilman Hartley was there. Because he's concerned about disseminating the information, the proper information, so people can adequately get the help that they need in order to, to get in touch with the right people, so they can get the help that they need, so they can help move the city forward. So he's concerned. Tina Clay is concerned. Kenneth Stokes concerned. All of them is concerned with their awards, because it's because they know, and they stand in unity. They know this is a fight. They know. The main thing, one of the things that I do hear from them is executive session. So that means if they're constantly in executive session, that means that they're talking amongst each other. What type of dog do we have in this fight? Do we have a dog in this fight? I know there's some of them questions that they're asking amongst each other. It'd be some cold-blooded mess if this thing happened and they don't get a seat at this table. Come on. Grizel ain't going. Tina Clay ain't going. You know Stokes ain't going. Hardly ain't going. Foots ain't going. So all I'm saying is, that's all my question is, will they get a seat at that table? You know? But I would like to hear from you. Do you think that they should or shouldn't get a seat at the table? Why not? Why not? You as a resident, when it comes to the concerns of the residents, they the first ones to hear it. It's just like you working on your 9 to 5 and you the first one to come and be the last one to leave. Same thing in this respect. They the first ones to hear it. They standing out front. But they doing a solo. It seems like if they don't get a seat at this table, that's what it's going to look like. That council is doing a solo. And I can about guarantee you, if they don't, you kind of know what that means. Because they doing their jobs. You come, well, what does that mean? What does it? What does? Oh, I'm gonna tell you what it means straight up. What that means is, when it comes to black folks, they don't give a damn. Not talking about the city council. I'm talking about those individuals, whoever designing this committee. Grizel, man, that cat a beast, man. He has to win a real good question in that city council. When they had the special meeting with the airport in the water, he asked a question. He said, "Who wrote this? Who wrote this?" Now, because I want to know who wrote this, who's behind all of this, because why we ain't got a seat at the table? Why y'all making decisions that don't include us? Because we represent black folks. And what I mean by black folks, I don't mean that like in the literary race of people, which it does mean, but it does mean that. But what I mean by that is that the majority of the people here in the city of Jackson is black. And if there are white residents here, you know what I'm saying, they're included in the mix. They're going to be caught up in the mix. That's the reason why Fondren moved the way they move. Why Belhaven moved the way Belhaven moved. That's why they moved the way they move. I'm just going to keep it a buck. That's why they move the way they move. They got their own little this, their own little that. They trying to generate their own revenue so they can fix up their own communities. So, you know, I want to hear from you. Does the city council if the city council don't have a dog in this fight, what does it mean? What does that mean to you? If the city council does not have a seat at this committee table. What does that mean for you, the residents? Because, like I said before, this is a in my opinion, this is a must. This is a must. Like I said, you put, tell you, man, you put Councilwoman Clay on that committee. She a beast. She not gonna be like nasty with folks, but you gonna see where she coming from. Put Grizel on there. You're gonna see where he coming from. So, you know, why they need to, like I say, they need to have a seat at this table. They need to have a seat at this table. And I'm not, if it was left up to me, it's 7 members. If it was in my ideal world, please, they all get a seat. ALL get a seat, plus the mayor. It would be a dominant seat, and or they would have the delegated of authority. Even let's say if they don't get a seat at this table, well, they would have delegated of authority to where if they come to an agreement in a vote, they got to send it before the council in order for it to be passed, and it can't be vetoed. And it can't be vetoed. If they're coming in as a body, they need to rank, the city council need to rank over them if they're going to pass something. This is the reason, this is why I say they need to get a seat at that table. Or they need to have a delegated of authority in order to pass, because this involves the city of Jackson. Now I can understand if this has something to do with the Board of Supervisors. No. This deals with the city of Jackson, local. So they should have the most say so. Pass a bill, they need to send it, okay, well, let's send it to, let's do the separation of powers thing. Let's send it to the, since the mayor's involved, the mayor's sitting on the committee. If the mayor's sitting on the committee, they make a decision, including the mayor, they need to send it to the city council, and the city council can vote yay or nay whether that passed, or they need to take it back or do some type of amendments or whatever they need to do to fix whatever it is that they're trying to pass. This is how we work together. If there was some business that happens in the city of Jackson that was involving the Board of Supervisors, I bet you all the tea in China that the Board of Supervisors would be raising hell if they didn't have a seat at the table about it. And that's any of those those officials, whether they're local or their state. It doesn't make a difference. They'd be raising hell if they wasn't gonna get no seat at the table on the decision process. So how do you think the city council feel? Yeah. Oh, by the way, shouts out to Sully Sell. Yo, very good interview. Very good interview, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, my man. Keep doing what you're doing. We got a growing podcast and everything, but I just wanted to send you a shout out because, that was a very good interview that you had with that fella. You know, I want to see that fella come up. Stan the man, I want to see him come up and do his thing. I do. I really want him to come up and do some great things to come. I wanted to really send that shout out to you, Sally Cell, for hosting that. Hosting that podcast on that. You know, that was real good. I'm really, that's dope. We need more of that. That's why the 601 network is being dropped. You know, I want that. And you had all the adequate questions you was asking him. That was real good. So big ups to you, Cat. Real talk. Yeah. So, but anyway, so this is what we need to do. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen. But see, like I said before, just think about it. All right, I'm gonna give you an example. You you got a family, right? You got a family. Whether you're a single mom, single dad, mom and dad, living mom, you got a stepdad situation, stepmom situation, whatever the case may be. But you're a family. And let's say there's some decisions being made around that house. And you paying the bill. And you ain't got a dog, and you ain't got nothing to, they don't want you to say nothing? Yeah, that's why I dropped my head. Because it don't make no sense. Oh, I'm going to have something to say. I'm going to have something to say. And like the cat in the movie South Central said, and you going to listen. And you going to listen. Because it doesn't make sense for me to be paying these bills and here all the decisions is being made and I'm not included in the decision process. So, but I'm not gonna beat this dead horse. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, the resident. I want you to leave me a comment and we will reply. And I want to thank you for listening to the 601 Network, Real Jackson News. No fluff, no distractions, just real news for you, the Jackson residents. If you find this video enlightening, informative, please follow the video, subscribe to the channel, and then do me one more solid. Run them likes up. Run them up, run them up. Anybody that reviews this video, please run up the likes. And thanks for watching.